Time for another program media guide opening. This one came from Michigan, a little before Christmas of 2021, or 2020, I should say. This is a 1976 playoff game from the Detroit Pistons. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have went out of my way to go after a program, but I liked the price on this was pretty reasonable, and being that it was from Detroit Pistons Cobo Hall, I thought it'd be a nice place to add for the collection. We'll start here where this fellow talks about his hairspray with the dip. And there's the Pistons directory, more of those wonderful 70s cars that I always seem to point out in these videos. The owners and people that ran the Pistons at the time. Ray Scott, who took the Pistons to a couple different playoff berths, but once Scott was fired with the Pistons, he didn't get another shot at the NBA, which is somewhat surprising. Budweiser. This is Herb Brown, the assistant and older brother of Larry Brown. The 1976 Capri 2. Will Robinson. This was he was the head coach at Illinois State for years, and had just been hired by the Pistons in their front office. Schlitz, the Pistons trainer. Dave Bing basketball camps. For those of you that would have wanted to go to the Dave Bing basketball camp, the front office for the Pistons, apparently it's the assistant general manager, public relations, executive secretary, and accountant. Chevy starting lineup with more ugly cars for 1976. All-time Pistons roster. I guess that's Benjamin Franklin, apparently. The Pontiac Firebird. Okay. Some of the Pistons players, Archie Clark, who was best known for his days with the Bullets. Ray Dalto's Downtown Fords. His and Her Fur Fashions. For 31 years, one of the largest selection of Michigan furs. Okay. There's the pictures of the Pistons. Oh, they played Golden State, who were the defending world champions, and would lose to the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Of course, you recognize Rick Barry, of course, Jamal Wilkes, Gus Williams, players that have won the championship the year before, 1975. More Pistons. Chris Ford, who had become better known as a Boston Celtic player and coach. Hall of Famer Bob Lanier, underrated Hall of Famer, who never won a world championship. His teams are always just missing. Interesting little find the word. All-time playoff record. Some various broadcasters, Marty Glickman, Chick Hearn, famous for the Lakers, Johnny Most of the Celtics, who always sounded like he was gargling razor blades. NBA playoff. Calvin Murphy, the new free throw king of the Houston Rockets. Skip Carey, my buddy Bob's favorite, does one of the best Skip Carey impersonations you can imagine. Formerly from his days of the Braves, this is when Skip was working for the Atlanta Hawks. JoJo White and the Marines, which I'm sure he never served in, but that's just a guess on my part. There is the roster, scorecard, unfilled. Rick Barry in front of him, what appears to be an AMC Pacer, another awful card. 9 players played in the Olympics. Ray Lump, Casey Jones, Jerry West, Bill Bradley, Spencer Haywood, and JoJo White, who wears high bulk Orlon cushion foot athletic socks. White of the Boston Celtics. There's the U.S. Olympic Games. results to that point. And there's the loss to Munich, Doug Collins, Tom Henderson, and Tom McMillan. Pro Kids, which are a very popular sneaker for NBA in the 70s. Looking ahead to the next NBA draft, which the big names here as far as who turned out. Alex English, Robert Parrish, 2 Hall of Famers. John Lucas, who could have been a Hall of Famer had he not gotten involved in drugs and veteran guard John McCoy. Eric Money, who was played well in a shorter than expected NBA career. Howard Porter, who came out early, signed with an agent too early, and wound up costing Villanova their official Final Four spot the year Howard Porter took them to the Final Four, which I think was 1971. Kevin Porter, former Washington Bullet. Curtis Rowe, George Trapp, Roger Brown, not the ABA Roger Brown, different Roger Brown. The growing Pistons fan club. All the Pistons all-time leaders. Signals. There's Cobo Arena, which the Pistons used before they moved to the Pontiac Silverdome and before the Palace of Auburn Hills. An older arena, as you can tell, look at how it's built almost in a corner where all the seating is kind of around the court, not necessarily centered. How to keep score at a basketball game. Pistons schedule. The Warriors, as I mentioned earlier, win this series. NBA rules, and another Zenith ad. So that's a quick little look at the 1976, the Golden State Warriors against the Detroit Pistons. Hit that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. I would appreciate it. And we'll be back to see you next time.